What's on, where and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. Talk Nelson Radio. Sport. The Mako Rugby Roundup.
Welcome to episode 14 of the Mako Rugby Roundup podcast, where we find out who the fanatics are when it comes to all things rugby in the top of the south. I'm Chris Butler and my co-host, Mr. Rugby himself. Great to have you back, mate. Les Edwards.
Good to be here, Chris, and a nice cosy environment in the studio this morning.
We've got special guests in the studio, Mako player Antonio Chalfoun and Paula Muddle, who's the General Manager of the Nelson Marlborough Rescue Helicopter Trust. Nice to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, good to be here.
And Les, it's going to be a big day tomorrow, Mako versus Northland at Trafalgar Park, and it's the MBS Family Day.
Yeah, so a big occasion for us.
Yeah.
A Saturday afternoon. The sun's looking like it's going to come out, and it's a really packed day. You know, we're going to start with a curtain raiser between the Nelson Bays and Marlborough under-16 teams.
Yeah.
You can get along and watch that entry for that game, 11:45am through the Mai Tai gate. And then after that game, we're going to watch the boys warm up and then clear the fields. And the Nelson Marlborough Rescue Helicopter is going to pop down, deliver the ball runners, and we're really looking forward to that, Paula.
Yeah, we've got a couple of mini crew jumping on the helicopter with the game balls. So
awesome.
They're very excited, so they'll get delivered. Hopefully, we're not called out, but that's what we do.
Good stuff. So also another opportunity, Les, to raise money for the Nelson Marlborough Rescue Helicopter.
Yeah, so Paula's got a lot of activity. I know they're going to have some people there from Whakatū Girls Rugby Trust.
Yeah, we've got the beautiful girls out collecting. You won't miss them. There's going to be a lot of them.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
So we've got, you can pay cash, and we've got tap and go machines. There's no excuse.
Oh, so there's no excuse.
No excuse.
You can get the card out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff. So tell us a little bit how things are going at the moment with the rescue helicopter. So obviously never like to see accidents, but it's nice to know you guys are there.
Look, we've had those recent floods, and it really showed how important it was. We were pretty much the lifeline of a lot of communities. The roads were closed. If anyone had any medical issues, the rescue helicopter was there. We're busy. We're always busy. We've been around 31 years. We're not going anywhere. We have to raise $1.65 million a year out of the top of the south, and people like MBS and people who can just gold coin it always up. It means a lot to us.
Good stuff. And, always a big crowd for the MBS days, good community day, and so a really good chance to raise some good money for you guys.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we really hope our fans will be generous, and they normally are. So, just in terms of the game, get there, look for the girls in purple from the Whakatū Girls Rugby Trust, and give generously is the call to our fans tomorrow.
And if you can't make the game, Paula, what other opportunities are there to assist with donation?
Look, this is just the start of the MBS Rescue Helicopter Appeal. They can go online, mbshelicopterappeal.nz. Believe me, you'll see stuff on social channels. You won't miss it. There's going to be every opportunity. And we're just asking people what they can do.
Yeah.
Like small businesses, we've got Salvitos giving $1 of every slab of pizza they sell. Everyone can just join in.
And you've got a website, and that's the place to go to find out how to help out?
Yeah, absolutely. Or pop into MBS, any branch, and they'll steer you in the right direction.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, looking forward to it.
Yeah, you must be delighted to have the support of MBS. They're an awesome community organisation, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. You don't see a sports team without MBS on them, and it's great to have them on our helicopter.
Yeah, and we love having them on the back of our jerseys, so thank you for doing that, MBS.
Yeah, good stuff.
So then the game, right?
Yes,
the helicopter's going to arrive, right? And then once the helicopter's been and gone with the ball carriers, we'll get stuck into a 2:05pm game between the Mako and the Northland Taniwha. And this is a must-win game for the Tasman team. We're sitting in 4th spot, Northland are in 5th spot, and I would imagine, Antonio, that the boys are really fizzing for this game.
Yeah, definitely. We've had an awesome week of training. It was good to get a full weekend. We haven't had a full week in quite a wee while, just with all the short turnarounds and your grit week and all that. So, yeah, that extra day of training really helped the boys. They're looking sharp.
Yeah, I popped down to your clarity session And the team looks great. We've got some important players back in the mix. You know, Andrew Makaleo and Quinton Strange are back in the forward pack, which allows Max Hicks to move to number 6. And the back line has been very strong and consistent throughout the season. So looking forward to the forwards getting quality ball. Northland are a good team. They've had a really good start to the competition, but they've had a couple of losses in the last 2 weeks. So we're really hoping we can get them on Trafalgar Park. Home ground advantage hugely enormous. So that's why it's great to have a big crowd coming with a curtain raiser with a helicopter there and what is a very good game of rugby.
All right, we're looking forward to it. Our Mako guest today is Antonio Chalfoun, who is Mako 200. Nice, easy number to remember. Welcome to the show, Antonio, once again. And last Saturday, big game at Eden Park. Auckland just pipping at the post, and I think that game could have actually gone either way, but it was a bit of a rally towards the end for Auckland, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just the boys looked quite good, especially on attack there in phases, and our D was actually really good at most of the game. Just a couple of little lapses or a little bit of discipline that just kind of let us down towards the end. But we were still proud of the performance we put out, and yeah, on to this week.
Yeah, so I would say that the fans were awfully proud as well, Antonio. You know, we outscored them 4 tries to 3. And I would guarantee you not many people were predicting a close game given the strength of Auckland and the depletion of, injury-wise with the Mako. So for them to only go down by 30 points to 27 was quite remarkable. And I think it was one of the most courageous performances I've seen from a Mako team in many a season. They just stuck to their work and really troubled Auckland.
It looked to me as though the Mako team are just starting to hit their straps a bit, and when you have got finals footy, although it's lovely to win a minor premiership or be number 1 at the end of the round robins, going in with momentum into finals, that's really important, isn't it?
Yeah, finals is just, one game. You just have to win that, so rolling in with momentum's an awesome thing. Doesn't matter if you're 4th, 1st, 2nd, whatever, it's just whoever can perform on that day and just get another week, get another Monday.
But it showed some stuff there, certainly against Auckland, and I think you're absolutely right. There was the odd mistake at the wrong time. Well, not unlike the All Blacks, at times some great play, but then at times a little bit of discipline and a couple of mistakes. But also Auckland's number 7.
Croat.
Oh, Adrian Choate.
Yes, Adrian Choate. Yeah, so at the breakdown he was pretty ferocious.
Yeah, we previewed their loose trio with obviously him and Blake Gibson. They're pretty good over the Bulls. We managed to do pretty well with that attacking breakdown, and those boys are always class quality.
Yeah. Okay.
I do think our midfield is in a rich vein of form. Levi Amur and Alex Nankivell, I think they're playing at the peak of their powers, and that's an opportunity for us, isn't it, this weekend?
Yeah, just don't tell Levi that, but they're going good.
What, will it go to Levi's head?
No, not at all.
I see what you mean about our halfback, because it's the first time I've really had the opportunity to watch him for 80 minutes. Man, he's got some talent, doesn't he?
Noah Hotham, yes.
Yeah.
He is a special player, I think, and he will only get better with more and more experience. He's not a small halfback, he's not a big halfback, but he's a solid halfback, but his deception is really good, his pass is great, his speed's good. I think he's got a very, very bright future.
And then with Havili just getting with more confidence at number 10, that kick out to the wing, is well set up and well taken. It was like an easy try in the end.
Yeah.
So I just thought the way this Mako team are starting to find a bit of form, you never know. And but tough game against Northland tomorrow, isn't it? So it won't get any easier.
So Northland have Tom Robinson out, and I think that's a big loss for them. The number 6, red-headed number 6, is out of the game. A couple of returning Mako, though, that I want to point out to our fans. So People might remember Dan Hawkins from Waitoi, who was Mako number 80. He's coming back as a reserve first five. And Sila Puafisi, Mako number 109. He was in our 2013 championship side at prop. He'll be there as well. And you know what they say, once a Mako, always a Mako. So.
They'll still pull it out of the bag. You're with the Mako Rugby Roundup and our very special guest, Antonio Chalfoun, Mako 200. And Antonio, you have come to Tasman in a bit of a roundabout way, having played 6 matches for Waikato in 2019 and then via Christchurch to the Mako. That was last year. So talk us through those early years growing up and your start in rugby.
Yeah, so I grew up in Christchurch around in Rolleston, went to Lincoln High School, just played a bit of footy there and everything, and was once I finished school, I was lucky enough to get like a rugby scholarship to Lincoln University, so that's where just managed to stay local. Was there for about 3.5 years. Then in 2019 I was playing club rugby in Christchurch, and was obviously still trying to crack it down there, but wasn't really hearing too much talk or anything. And then just out of the blue, I just got a call about Waikato. They had, I think, two locks who had season-ending injuries, and they were just looking for someone out of the region who thought might be able to step up to that level. So it was just happened in a matter of weeks. I just kind of took the opportunity, moved everything up there in the matter of weeks, and spent the season up there.
So my old mate Mike Crawford, did you have much to do with him?
Yeah.
Crawford,
yeah, he's a good man. He was real good to me coming up there, because I actually knew, like, I think I only knew one person in the whole city, like.
Right.
Just one of the players who used to play down at Lincoln. Apart from that, I knew no one.
So Mike might have been just a bit before your time, Les. So he would have worked under Peter Barr when the Mako first set up, but he had a role at the Mako here in Nelson, and a lot of that was working with the younger players and actually outside of rugby, helping them with where you're going to go after rugby and what about qualifications.
So kind of a development officer.
Kind of like a development officer, and he managed the Mooloos at that point, but his role has always been about working with younger players and looking after them. So I could well imagine that you were looked after when he came there. He's actually out of it now. He's hibernating in the Thames, so he's done his dash. But it's a nice connection between Waikato and the Mako there. Tell us about that season at the Mooloos. How did that go for you?
Yeah, no, I loved it. It was obviously a big step up from club rugby, like just playing club for 3 or 4 years, and I think it's just you don't quite realise how much more detail goes into everything, like, because it's your full-time job. It's not just a Tuesday, Thursday, play Saturday. But the boys are really welcoming. Obviously it's a bit daunting going somewhere else where you don't know anyone, but I guess if you don't challenge yourself, you're not going to grow. So I'm really glad I did it, and the boys are really good. After a couple of weeks, you're in with the boys and getting to know them all well, which always makes it easier when you're playing, because you can trust each other a lot more.
Who was coaching up there at the time?
It was Andrew Strawbridge. Oh, yeah. He was the head coach. Yeah.
He's highly regarded, isn't he?
Yeah. He's pretty switched on. He was the one who actually called me to get me up there. He's I think he's doing something with the All Blacks now or something. Might be like a wee advisor or something out there. But no, he was. He's got a really good insight into the game, and especially around all that technical side of things, the skills and all that.
Now, after that year, 2019, you signed with the Mako for 2020, but we didn't see you that year. But you did get on the park for round 1 against Bay of Plenty in 2021. What happened with 2020?
Oh, yeah, so I met up with Derms, I think, in like November around that, and they were doing that trip to America at the start of 2020. So that's kind of how I got down there. It was a free trip to America, so I took it. And that was an awesome experience going overseas. And moved up there in 2020, and just unfortunately I just got a bit sick. I I got myocarditis, which is just like an infection of the heart. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so that kind of happened like the pre-season of the Mako season. So that just ruled me out for 6 months. Just couldn't really do any exercise, but luckily, yeah, and just rest, and then came back last year, 2021, and it's been all good since then. So yeah.
Yeah, so you made your debut against Bay of Plenty, and then we had all of the COVID disruptions, so they had to create a second game against Bay of Plenty here at Trafalgar Park, and that was a not for competition points, but it was a first-class game of rugby, and you were named as captain of this team. So that's quite an honour. So fresh in the environment, your third game, and you're running out at the front of the field onto Trafalgar Park. So how did that make you feel, and how did you enjoy that responsibility?
Oh, when the team first got named, I thought they were just taking the mickey out. I didn't actually think it was true. Like, I was like, what the heck? But I was, pinching myself a bit that week because I never thought I'd, captain the Mako, especially just in the first few games. But all the boys were awesome, mate. They were just helping me, especially those older guys like Nank and Quinny and Hunty and all those boys. They were just really good with just, how to do it. And yeah, it made me feel a lot more comfortable around it, and lead from the front there.
Yeah, so you enjoy the experience. Have you done captaincy before?
Yeah, I was captain of the first 15 at school, and then last year I was Stoke captain.
Okay,
Yeah.
So obviously those qualities shine through and are obvious to the coaches and selectors when they're putting a team together. So that's a pretty decent rap about yourself there, Antonio.
So you ended up playing 7 games in 2021 and then 2 more this year, but then a serious shoulder injury against Canterbury, so that brought the season to an early end. So what happened, and how are you going with the recovery?
Yeah, so I just had a bit of a niggly shoulder the whole year. It's just hasn't really gone away, and it just got to a point where I just couldn't really play with it, just to be able to perform. So I think just looking at getting surgery now for it. So just waiting for a date, hopefully in the next few weeks, and that's probably around 6 months recovery. So
Right.
but yeah, hopefully get it sooner so you can come back earlier next year and
Start getting back into it.
Now, you weren't available for the first game. That was against Southland and Blenheim, and everyone might recall that there was a hell of a weather bomb, and Southland were delayed in getting to the
Yes,
game,
that's right.
so it got postponed from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. But included in that, Chris, Sky couldn't get their sideline commentator to the game. So who do they call upon to do the sideline commentary on Sky but one Antonio Shalfoon? Antonio, what was that experience like?
Yeah, that was a stitch up, but
A stitch up by whom?
Stu.
Stu Hunter, our manager.
No, I just remember we're doing a few of us boys were just doing running in the morning. I finished running and we just had a message on WhatsApp from Stu saying, "Oh hey mate, Tony Johnson's just sent out an SOS. Do you reckon you do sideline comments for the game?" I was like, what? But yeah, it was. I'll tell you what, that was the most nervous I've ever been. That was, yeah, but no, it was pretty fun. But yeah, you gotta think so much more about what you're gonna say. You can't just speak unfiltered.
Yeah, that's right.
At the live audience. So, but it was awesome meeting Tony Johnson.
He's a wonderful human.
Oh, and I got an appreciation for probably how hard it actually is, or how easy they make it seem. Like they do an awesome job, eh? Yeah.
So what's easier, facing the Canterbury forwards or working for Sky?
Oh, definitely facing the Canterbury forwards. Man. Playing rugby was the easy thing compared to that. Yeah, it was. Yeah, But no, it was an awesome experience. I enjoyed it at the end. But
we got a great photo of you doing it, and you look like a professional. So
well, you never know. I mean, life after rugby, you never know, Les. All 4 contracted locks are now out injured, so there's a bunch of loose forwards in there that have to step up. So, how impressed are you with their form? Are you a bit worried that maybe these loose forwards might want to change a career?
No, I don't think they want to change. I think they like it on the side of the scrum there.
They're born for it.
Yeah, but like we've kind of said all year, we trust everyone who's going to step up into whatever position they're going to play, and the boys have been really stepping up and really proud of the way they have. I think we've got Quinn and Monty back this week, so their first game back for a few weeks, so that will definitely help us in the locking department. But I think like Max and T have done an awesome job the last few weeks. Like our set piece hasn't gone down like our numbers. It's like our line out and all that. It's actually gone up. So
is that right?
Yeah, they've been really awesome. They've stepped up really well and taken the opportunity. Yeah.
We've had a chance to see a debutant this year in Fletcher Anderson, and he's just an outstanding prospect, isn't he?
Yeah. I've been really impressed with how he's going. He's got quite an old head on a young fella. He's pretty switched on for a younger guy, and no, he's really fit in well in the environment, and I think he seems to be really enjoying it just from the few convos we've had, and the boys got around him early, and I think it's just shown in the way he's playing. He's just confident, and yeah.
So how are you finding the Mako environment? So obviously you played a bit with the Mulu, and now you're settling into the Nelson Tasman region, so you're enjoying this environment here?
Yeah, I love it, Yeah, it's awesome. I think being a bit of a smaller city and town, when everyone's here during the season, everyone's real tight, and it's almost like that home away from home for a lot of people. A lot of boys, come in from their super regions, having a lot of super players. Everyone's just kind of, in together. They're away from family, so you kind of make this your family. And I think that the off-field connections and they have a real good balance of fun and enjoyment, but serious, when to stay on and getting the best out of everyone, which I think, sets the Mako apart.
Well, we spoke to Andrew Makaleo last week, and he was talking about, when the job's on, and we're serious, but the other thing is that you got to enjoy it, and we have a lot of fun. So
yeah, it's like the on-off switch, when to be on and when to be off, and I think the boys, especially like the leaders, are really good at doing that. Those older players that kind of set an example of, you can have a laugh, but when we're on, we're on. And that's I think it's shown in the last few years as well. They've really done that well.
Talking of family, your real family. So you're Antonio, you've got a brother Carlito, and your surname's Chalfoun. So is there some Italian, Spanish element there?
Nah, so Chalfoun's actually Lebanese. So that's where that originated from, Lebanon. But I think Mum and Dad just enjoyed the exotic names, so that's the names have got nothing to do with where we're from, but I think they just like them.
That's
very
awesome.
exotic.
But some Lebanese heritage.
So it's interesting because Rugby League, I remember Benny Elias put a Lebanese rugby league team together for the World Cup. Do they play a rugby union? Do they have a rugby union national team over there?
I don't know. I was actually thinking about that the other day. You might see me running out for Lebanon next year.
That's right.
World Cup.
I can guarantee you there would be. Every country in the world has a rugby union and a national team. So there would be that opportunity at some stage in your career.
That'd be great to see. But after you're an All Black, so wait till then.
Are you contracted for 2023?
With Tasman? Yeah. I'm back next year.
Oh, wonderful, Antonio. Good to have you back in the environment.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, Antonio, look, thank you very much for joining us as our special guest. We wish you all the best with your recovery. It's going to be a long haul, but hopefully a light at the end of the tunnel, and you get a good crack at it next season, and really enjoyed having you in the studio.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure.
That's our special guest, Antonio Chalfoun, Mako player number 200. You're with the Mako Rugby Roundup, and it's time to talk All Black Rugby. Last week in Melbourne. Well, I don't really know what to say about the match. I know that you were pretty relaxed about it at 31-13, and then there was the big comeback by the Aussies, and then we were on top, and then they came back, and then there was the controversy at the end. We talked a lot about that last week. There was the ban for Darcy Swain.
Yes, finally the judiciary has met. That was a pretty awful action, don't you think, Antonio, taking out Tapai's legs like that?
You don't want to see that in the game. I think he could have probably been carded for the clean out as well, the head contact there. But because initially I think we were watching it and didn't really see what happened. We just thought he went down, but once you saw it, it was pretty grubbish. But I think that That's just a style of play, I guess, but probably just went over the line a wee bit too far there.
Yeah, I mean, I probably had my first proper look at it because I don't like watching knee injuries. I've had one. I just can't stand looking at them. But I actually watched that replay and I couldn't quite see it in the replays previously, but this time they had a good angle and slow motion. That was just blatant.
Yes, it was.
That was terrible.
And so Tapaia's out for 8 to 10 weeks, and the tackler gets 6. I think they just got to be heavier on those sorts of tackles because they can end a player's career, and that's just not on. Look, they've named the team for the test at Eden Park. We've got 4 Mako in the squad, so Tyrell Lomax is propping, and Will Jordan is at 14, Finlay Christie on the bench, and also Sevu Reece. So the interesting things for me was the fact that they've gone back to Cody Taylor to start a test match, which to me is just a crazy decision, you know. Surely we've found a forward pack that needs to play together with a World Cup next year. To chop and change again, I think is a little bit foolish. But what do you think Foster's trying to do? Get Taylor's confidence back up for next year?
I saw that. I saw that selection, and so I was really keen to watch his press conference. And his explanation is that he felt that Cody Taylor had been training really well. And he backs him as a player, and he thought that bringing Sam on as a impact player when we're going to need the oomph to do it would give them the advantage towards the end of the match, which he felt they didn't quite probably have in Melbourne. That was his theory, but of course we're all nervous because we're thinking, well, how many lineouts is he going to give up? So what are your thoughts, Antonio? I mean, you're a lock, you've got to receive it from the hookers, so not easy to always throw the ball straight.
Cody's an outstanding player. He's played 70 or 80 tests or something, so he'll just bank on his experience, and I'm sure he'll get the job done. As they say, it's not always the thrower. It can be a combination of everything. I think the hooker sometimes gets the blame for a lot of things,
but it could be the timing of the jump.
Yeah, it could be the jump, not the best lift or other factors, but I think from the outside world, it's probably just easiest to blame the hooker. So they'll just they'll get their timing right. And Cody's he's a class player, and he brings a lot of leadership. He'll bring a lot of leadership to that forward pack, especially with Sam Cane out. Yeah,
but that said, Toki Yahua has been the form player, I think, in the All Black pack, and so I'm still a little bit surprised that they haven't stuck with the same front row. Because surely the Mako wouldn't chop and change their selections to give everyone a run in a 9-game or 10-game campaign. And there are not many matches left before the Rugby World Cup gets underway. And I just think the more that they play the top team, the better off they'll be. The other interesting selections, of course, is Geordie Barrett picked at 12. Rather than Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and I think that's another one where a lot of people would say if Tuivasa-Sheck is going to be a genuine All Black, then he should have been given an opportunity to start the test and show how.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there because I just don't know if he's quite there yet. I don't know why he's actually on the bench. I haven't seen anything from him yet that says to me, that he's that transition. He's really starting to pick up and work really well. I just think they've gone for safety. I think they've gone to a player that kind of knows the plays, and they haven't really got another option, so I just think they've gone for safety. What are your thoughts on that, Antonio?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't really know too much about the backs, but maybe just going for it. Geordie's kind of a safe player. I think he kind of said a year or two ago that he wants to play 12.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just something, because he used to play 12 when he was at Lincoln Uni, and
he did.
When he first played for Canterbury, he played a lot of second five. I think he played like New Zealand under 20s there as well.
Yes, so he did. Yeah.
That was kind of his first position anyway, so he'd probably be quite comfortable there as well.
Yeah, that's what his brother was saying, that he's played a lot at 12. So that was Foster's explanation, that he wanted a bit of familiarity, which is interesting because that's opposite to what he's done with the hooker. And of course the other one was his brother at number 6, where's Barrett? But the explanation there is that he's had a an Achilles tweak, which they've been working on, and they just don't want to risk it going forward. And Frizzell's obviously not quite right. So
correct.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And then the other one is sticking Bodie at 15, which obviously we know he's a great fullback, but a lot of people are saying Will should be there.
Well, I personally would love to see Will Jordan given a shot at the 15 jersey. He's probably going to have to wait until the end of 2023. They've probably got him earmarked as a right winger for that campaign. But from then on, he'd be my starting 15 in every test we play, and because his vision and ability is second to none. So, he's just got to bide his time a bit.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on... I know you're going to claim that you're a forward, you know nothing about this, but... Do you like Bodie with Will on the wing, or...?
I don't know. Do you reckon maybe just they've put Bode in there, just a bit more experience, especially with Sam Cane out and a couple injuries, to maybe just keep that experience on the park there. But I'd definitely love to see Will in fullback for one game, 2 games, because he's I don't think he's played a game at fullback for the All Blacks, has he?
No. But there was a bit of a precursor, because Foster got asked that question and he said you might see him there, have a bit of a go there, so I think they'll ease him into it. So I'd say if there's a bit of a change around in the backs as the game goes on, you might see Will go out there, might bring Sivi Reese on. That was the other thing, people said Will Jordan 15, Sivi Reese on the wing, but I just wonder whether they like Bowden and Will on the under the high ball. Anyway, it's interesting. Yeah, but the hook is the big one, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I'm a big fan of Tokiahu.
Yeah.
I think he's just, he's Rookie of the Year, isn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely big, strong hooker in the middle of the pack, not unlike our Andrew Makaleo in the middle of the Mako pack. Big, strong hookers are very, very valuable.
Sam Whitelock takes up the captain's role. Yeah, apparently that was due to the fact that they just want to ease Savia back after 2 weeks out. So good to have him back, though, as well. Bit of impact. Predictions, lads, for the match?
I'll go All Blacks 12 and under.
You always say 12 and under.
No, I had them 13 plus when I went to bed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Psychologically turn that around. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go All Blacks by 25.
Wow, you're a good man.
They're going to carve it up. They're going to carve it up.
Good.
We like that. Hey, that's it for another edition of the Mako Rugby Roundup. My thanks to Paula Muddle, Nelson Marlborough Rescue Helicopter Trust, and of course Antonio. Great to have you in, mate. Thanks very much.
No, cheers for having me in. It's it's been good.
all the best for the rest of the year, and I know you'll be working with the lads at training and that kind of stuff, trying to get those loose forwards jumping right in the line out. And we hope to see you again soon. And 2023, hopefully a big year next year. Thank you once again, Les. All the best. I see you got your golfing socks on.
Yes, a game of golf at the Summit Golf Tournament, raising charity money for hospice.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, and we'll get back into it again next week. You can hear this podcast on talknelson.co.nz or on the Facebook page, or you can hear it Fresh FM 9 o'clock Friday nights. Have a great weekend.
The Mako Rugby Roundup. It's the talk of Nelson. Talk Nelson Radio.